This is your girl, Linda Talaferro from the T the Extra Effort. And we are going to continue this month. Remember, I have a new setup, so I'm only doing these lives on the first and third Tuesday, and they're focused on a particular topic for the month. And if you were with me a couple of weeks ago, you know that I opened the new year sharing with you what my word was for the year, and that is preparation. And I shared why I thought it was important because we want to make sure that we can have a solid foundation to really leverage and springboard our careers. So with all of the things that have happened 2019, especially 2020, 2021, and 2022, as I shared a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was really imperative that we take 2023 and really launch it strongly and therefore focus on preparation, really doing what's necessary to make sure that we are fully ready, not just from being good at what we do, but holistically ready so that we can take our careers to the next level. So I want to continue the conversation from a couple of weeks ago. And in this one, I want to talk about how do you really assure success in that preparation? I mean, what is crucial? I mean, you can do a lot of prep work, right? I mean, you can do this, that, and the other, but how do you know that it's really going to be successful? And what I'm talking about is how do you know that you're going to focus on the right things in order to make sure that you can springboard your career, shift the dynamic, rewrite the narrative, change the trajectory? How do you know? You know, you could do a lot of movement, but it doesn't mean that you're going to actually have progress. You could be standing still and move, right? You could be standing still, but moving, running in place, which means you have no progress. So that's why it's so important to have a clear methodology or a clear understanding of what is necessary to assure success and preparation. So I'm actually going to share my screen today because I want to really hone in on what I believe is critically foundational to make sure that you have success in your preparation, and that is strengthening your being. I know you guys hear me talk about it all the time. I do. I talk about it a lot. And the reason why I do is because it's critical. It is foundational. It's important. It's one of those keys. It's one of those links in the chain. You don't have this, you can prepare all you want, but if you're not making sure that you focus on this first in your preparation work, it's probably going to be futile. Well, I'm not going to say probably, it will be futile. And there's nuances around it for Black and Brown women, which if you need to dive into those nuances, contact me. I'd love to help you with that. But from a holistic, if I raise this up a level, making sure that you have strong EQ, and it starts with self. It starts with making sure your self awareness is everywhere it needs to be. It is at the utmost level. Recognize who you are and how you affect others when you show up in who you are. Do you really know that you know who you are and why you are who you are? That is, I believe, what most of us as Black and Brown women miss. Understanding why we are who we are. What are the things, the experiences, the situations, the atmosphere, the environment that we were in, our lives that make us who we are, and then understanding how that translates into our professional lives. This is why strengthening our being is so, so critically important to the successful preparation that will take us to the next level. And you can't get to the other aspects of emotional intelligence and be successful in them unless you handle that left side first. That left side first. Self awareness and self management. That is critical. The left side is so critical first. And then you go to the right side. There's a reason why it's laid out the way it is. So, how do you assure success? making sure that you understand who you are, why you are who you are, what is your EQ, and what areas do you need to work on to strengthen them. And let me give you another aspect. I want to share my screen again, but this time I'm going to take it to another level and share with you what you should do, how you can go about actually understanding who you are and why you are who you are. And that is the approach that I use, which is I call the peel back, connect, and grow approach. So you saw that I shared with you emotional intelligence and the segments of the emotional intelligence, starting with the left side of that graph that I just showed you, right? Self-awareness and self-management. Well, how do you get the self-awareness? You get it by doing the peel back. How you see yourself, how you believe others see you, which therefore that is how you show up. Get your arms around who you are personally, which translates to who you are professionally. You can't master the emotional intelligence that I just showed you a second ago on that slide. And for those of you that are catching this on the replay, you saw that graph. I showed it a few minutes ago. If you're hearing this on the podcast, reach out to me. We'll definitely make sure you see the graphics. But I showed the emotional intelligence graph first, and on the left side, it had the self-awareness and self-management. The way you become self-aware is truly taking a look at yourself deeply, understanding who you are personally. Like I said, why are you who you are? What environment did you grow up in? What experiences did you have through school, through college, through your first job, and then your second job, and so forth, your first boss and your fifth boss? Those shape you. Everything about you shapes you. Not just what happens at work, but what happens at home and at work together. Peel that back, understand it. Then, when you understand truly that, you can start stripping away all the ambiguity. That's where the connection happens. That's where the connection happens. You strip away the ambiguity because you have clarity, because you did the peel back work. And then you're going to build the relationships. And that's how you understand truly how people see you, not how you think they see you. But through relationships, you get to really know how others see you. You put all that together, you go from just showing up to showing up strong. That's foundational to strong preparation. Then you grow. So, in addition to the emotional intelligence graph I showed you and the peel back, connect, to grow approach, you put those things together. That's how you assure success in your preparation. Everything else you do in addition to that will be truly, truly impactful. It'll be needle moving because you've laid that strong foundation. You cannot move forward in this preparation work that I talked about as I open the new year. And I'm going to be talking about it throughout the year with various guests, talking about some really challenging situations people experienced, but how they prepared themselves to get out of it, as well as people who have not had challenges but did the work necessary. And it's centered around that self-awareness. It's centered around stripping away and really getting to the core of who you are personally and matching it professionally and doing the work then to show up. That's how you assure success in your preparation. I wanted to make sure that we started this month, this year, with this information because I'm going to build upon this throughout the year, constantly revisiting back to what I showed in this session today, really connecting the dots, continually to give you more tools as Black and Brown women so that the systemic challenges and the challenges that we bring into the workplace ourselves no longer are those challenges and roadblocks. So if you didn't, I'm doing a quick show again, because I know I've got some people that joined me later. What I mentioned is, as you're starting to build your preparation work, one of the things you want to make sure you do, and I'm going to show this again, just to make sure that you get it, is that you really focus on your EQ, the left side of this chart, this graph that I'm showing right now, the self-awareness and the self-management piece. And I don't mean do it, just on the surface. I mean, really dig in, understand it, build it, so that you're successful then on the right side of this graph. And the way you do that, as I just shared a second ago, I'm going to share this again as well. The way you do that is through this approach, which I know works because I've done this myself and all the clients that I've worked with. This is the approach we take. And it is needle moving. Heavy, heavy work up front on the peel back, because that's usually what's most difficult, is really putting the mirror in front of ourselves and having those aha moments and really owning the aha moments. I'm getting ready to work with a new client, and our discovery calls, we had a couple of them. And that's what she realized. She was like, I know I need help for sure now, because none of this was making sense to me, but now it is. So let's get on the other side of this. So the peel back piece is so critically important as part of your foundation and as well as your success for preparation. And then you can connect, which is where you start feeling the shift in the momentum, and then you grow. But to make sure that you're successful in the preparation, it is that first part, the peeling back, which allows you to have a very, very high self-awareness, which I'm going to be frank with you, without high self-awareness, the rest of the blocks on the EQ graph I showed you are pretty challenging to acquire, and you will not, I've not seen anyone truly establish executive presence, the leader, the successful long-term leader like executive presence that's needed if you don't have high self-awareness. I've not seen one without the other. So if you want to make sure that your preparation is successful and you want to make sure that you're not going into yet another year spiraling, it's chaotic, it's moving around, you don't get it, it's not making sense, this is the approach that I highly, strongly recommend because I know that it works. If you need any additional help or explanation, something I shared in this session didn't quite come across, send me a message, either comment, DM me, send me an email, and I'll explore, I'll share with you and really explore it and dive in and peel it back, synthesize it more for you so that you really understand it. It's critically important. And I did not want to move into the rest of this year with all the other topics that we're going to be talking about on these lives, which is so important, without giving you the foundation first. So I'm excited about 2023. Is it going to be a challenging year? Absolutely. Every year is. I know for me professionally, we got a lot going on. At my company, personally, a lot going on. But that's what shapes me. I know who I am because I've connected with my personal to my professional. So I know exactly how to prepare for success because I've made that connection, right? And so therefore with me, irrespective of the challenges, it's exciting. Tiring, wears you out, but yes, it's exciting. And I know that there will be progress forward. And so therefore I offer to you to have that same, I want to motivate you, inspire you to think the same way. Yeah, does it take work? Absolutely. The two graphs that I showed you, if you really just sit with it, you're thinking, man, that's a lot of work. Yes, it is, but it's worth it. It is so worth it when you get on the other side of it. And the other side of it, I want to say this before I close this evening, the other side of it could look a few ways, right? The other side of it looks different for everyone. It could be that next level opportunity for you on the other side. It could be realizing that where you are is not the place you should be. And therefore, you need to seek the right environment for you to be able to connect and grow. So I want to make sure that's clear. The other side of it is different for each and every one of us. But I know that the other side is achievable. I have a client that I've worked with for 2 years. She's about to get to the other side of it, but at a different company, in a broader, larger role. The environment she was in previously was not the environment that would allow her to connect and grow. She is entering one that will. So it can look different for all of us. The point is, it's possible. The point is, it's achievable. The point is, it's doable. You are in the driver's seat. You control your career. And if you do the things that I mentioned in this session, that will assure your succession, your preparation, springboard it, and launch. All right. So I'm excited. Next month, we have a different topic. It's a topic that some of you have asked for again. So I had to have my guest back. We're going to dive into it. It's already posted out there. Would love to see you first and third Tuesdays of February. And we dive into another critical topic that is going to give you the methodologies and tools to deal with it because it's challenging, and it'll strengthen your preparation to move forward as well. All of this is connected and linked. All right, until next time.